And we are live. Hello, good morning. I'm Spike, and welcome to another Japanese self-taught in Rosetta Stone 3. Excuse me. Right, today I'm going to be going through this next module, reading. Um, we've already done the grammar module, the vocabulary module, the pronunciation module, and core lesson for Unit 3. So we get this first chunk here to be able to work through. And then when we get to core lesson 2, obviously the difficulty will ramp up again. And we end up with the lesson 2 stuff with the repeat of lesson 1, so on and so forth. From core lesson 3, we get the repeat of lesson 2. And then core lesson 4, we get the repeat of lesson 3. So again, today we'll be doing the reading section, which should have come yesterday. I have to apologise for being away yesterday. I had to go get my teeth cleaned and all the rest of it, have some work done. So I tried to save my poor teeth. So I was a little bit, I don't want to say unwell, but under the weather. Because being ginger and such, anesthetic is not pleasant to the body, because we usually need, 20 to 30% more than the average person. Thank you, vitamin D, that courses through my body. Seems to be a phenomenon that occurs in gingers. We just seem to require more anaesthetic than most to put us under or have any work done. So I was recovering from that yesterday. So apologies for this video being late. I was hoping that this week would be straight through every day. I put out the stream and do some Japanese learning with everyone. So apologies for that, but I'm back and still no issues with the program. Fantastic. That's at least a worry off my mind. So today I am going to hopefully be able to utilize a little bit more of my reference sheet stuff that we've got through. There's the tenses and some extra bits there with the numbers along the top. And then we've also got the alphabetized, or as close to alphabetized hiragana alphabet, kanji alphabet as possible. And just before I begin, if you've stumbled across this channel and you enjoy learning languages, or you have an interest in Japanese culture, etc., then thank you for coming and watching and listening to my channel and the video. It's very much appreciated. Anyone who does support me, obviously, I highly respect those who are supporting me. Thank you very much. Your love and support is very much welcome and appreciated. For those who are new to the channel, please like, follow, share and subscribe to twitch.tv/xofficina and youtube.com/xofficina. That's EXOFFICINA. They are both my channels. They both link to each other. So if you're watching this live on Twitch, the videos only last for 7 days, as I'm not yet affiliate. But they do live permanently over on YouTube, and they're in a nicely ordered playlist. These videos are numbered, so you can watch from 1 through to this episode, number 64, over on YouTube. Just hit that bell, send us a like, and share this way. Anyone that you know who might be interested in learning Japanese through this method of just sitting there casually and watching me casually learn Japanese, by all means, share these videos out to them, get them involved in the playlist, get them to like, follow, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Everything here is free. I'm doing this just out of the love of wanting to make content like this, and just to show that it can be possible to learn a language without having an expensive teacher or expensive programs, yada, yada, yada. You know the business. In this day and age where budget is everything, this is being offered out through my time and through being something that I want to enjoy. I'm documenting my own progress, and you are seeing what I'm doing to learn the language. But the resource itself, if you want to stop and pause the video, rewind certain bits and so on and so forth, you too can practice along with me in this casual manner. Okay, that might involve a tiny little bit of work from yourself in pausing the video and such, because I'm not very good at doing chapters and what have you in a video. But the material is here, and it is there to be watched. and utilized however you see fit. So by all means, please like, follow, share, and subscribe to both my channels. They're both linked to each other, so if you find one, you can find the other. Also, if you want to message me, please comment down below in the comments for either of any of the videos, for whichever one takes your fancy, or if it's about specific subjects, keep it to that video, etc. If you want a more direct response or interaction with me, the pages do have links to my Discord server. Please feel free to add yourselves there. The link is an invite code. You won't get asked any silly questions. There's just some basic, TOS rules in there and common sense, basically. But if you want to chat to me, offer any tips, feedback, advice, constructive criticism, whatever it is, please comment below or go hit up my Discord server and I'll answer you there. The Discord server also offers other opportunities, like if you want to suggest things, if you want to just chat, if you want to just interact, if you want to play games, if you've got an interest in music, you name it, that's the place to be there to interact with me. Again, free. Doesn't cost a bean. I have no subscription tiers, no Patreon. The only thing I have at the moment is a GoFundMe for legal costs for going to family court for my daughter. Which if you want to support me there, the link is in the description below. Anyway, enough of that. Let's crack on with some Japanese, shall we? So let's go get this microphone set up with the reading exercise ready to follow after. So ichi, ni, san, yon, go. Let's get our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s out of the way in Japanese, as it starts raining outside. Do I have washing outside? No, I don't have washing outside. Cool. Let's go. Let's see what we're going to get hit up for.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Sayonara. Yo.
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 おやすみなさい。
Oyasumi.
おやすみなさい。
Ya.
Yeah.
Ya.
Right, let me just... Yeah, I do have that. Kanji. So let's just look for the postie. Apparently there's a lot of noise going out on the driveway and it's gravel and I could hear it through these headphones with my window open. So apologies for that movement. So yeah, let's a classic example of being able to have a slide where you can extrapolate kanji, so long as it's telling you what that kanji actually sounds like, what its sibilance is in the word. So these slides throughout the whole of this series are the slides that I've been using to extrapolate my own alphabet kanji, so I know what they actually say and sound like in comparison to Western English. So let's shut down on this headphone set. Is incredible every 10 minutes. Anyway, so this is how I've been extrapolating the alphabet and learning what each one is, and then I've gone to other resources to double check that they are correct. Whether it's been pulling them out of full words like these two here, and then it's given me the singular, or going back through sentences where I can individually identify the English translation back into Japanese hiragana, katakana, or kanji, to get myself this alphabet. So just an important note there, these reading exercises are usually the ones where I've been getting the kanji information from. So these are the ones to pause, stop, practice a little bit of writing and crack on from. Anyway, let's see if I can get some more reading done and maybe sort out my pronunciation, because it seems that my pronunciation today is a little bit off. Let's go to slide 2.
さようなら。よ。おやすみなさい。や。よ。
Yo.
Yo. Ya.
Yeah.
Ya. Ya.
Yeah.
Ya. Yo.
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 A lot of people have asked me when I've shown them these videos, when I've said, what do you think of these? And they see this, they go, what's the point of repeating it twice, 3 times? Why are you saying it? Because it helps aid memory, saying it and hearing it 2, 3, 4 times over, especially in quick succession. And also, the programs doing this where it's yo and ya, it's always trying to do something that's structurally similar and sounds similar to each other with just the one inflection change up or down. So yo, ya, right? It seems to aid memory, recall, and memory storage function in the brain. When learning like this, it's why we do a lot of repetition in schools for certain things. And you think, well, why have we not moved on to the next one? That's the reason why, because it aids memory retention of the thing you're learning. Let's go to slide 3.
友達
Tomodachi,
友達
ち、
chi,
ち、お茶、
or cha,
お茶、
茶
chat.
茶
Good. Oh, it's really starting to hammer down now. It's starting to pick up.
友達、ち、お茶、茶、茶、
Chat,
茶、ち、
chi,
ち、ち、
chi,
ち、茶、
chat.
茶、
Nice. So we can see how similar certain sounds are and what usually becomes the modifier to modify the actual sounds that in the word, should I say, which then obviously makes it easier to identify when reading the kanji. Now I know I've done 99.9% of these slides in English, or Western Romaji, as this program calls it, and it's only really when presented with these Japanese only slides and exercises that I've really done just pure Japanese. And there's a reason for that. I want to learn the Japanese where I'd be speaking it as if I was with a teacher who's teaching me the Japanese from English into Japanese. But because I'm doing it myself, I want to methodically go through most of these exercises in English before going back and revisiting the same exercises purely in Japanese. At least that's the plan. I'm hoping to be able to do both. So I'll be able to not just read the Japanese in Japanese, but I'll be able to speak it too. They're the two main goals. I want to be able to read and speak Japanese. Hearing it is going to obviously come with both of those. The writing, I'm looking at learning a little bit later on. When I'm a little bit more versed, and once I know what I'm actually saying and formulating, I will then start learning to attempt to write it. Let's go to slide 5.
よ、
Yo, yeah. If I remember rightly, let's have a look. Yo, yep.
茶、
Cha,
ち、
chi,
や、
yeah. There we go.
よ、
Yo,
ち、
chi,
茶、
cha,
や、
yeah.
よ、ち、
chi,
茶、
cha,
ya.
Yo,
よ、ち、
chi,
茶、
cha,
や、
yo,
よ、ち、
chi,
茶、
cha, yeah.
や、
Yo,
よ、
chi,
ち、茶、
cha, yeah.
や、
Lovely. Let's go to slide 6. Hopefully I can remember that. My brain's not
さ
great
よう
today.
なら、
Yo. Sayana. Yes, isn't it? I'm an idiot.
さよう、
Oh, why? Why? Why is my
さよう
brain
な
so
ら、
fogged today? Sayona.
さようなら、おやすみなさい、
Oyasaminasai.
おやすみなさい、お茶、
Chia.
お茶、
友達
Tomodachi.
友達
So the other thing as well in this, sayonara.
さようなら、
Nara. Nara. Just double check the old. Yeah. Sayonara. Sayonara. Yeah, oh yes, because this one here in the middle is just U by itself. Sayonara.
おやすみなさい。
おやさみなさい。
おやすみなさい。
さい。うん。
おやすみなさい。おやすみなさい。
おやさみなさい。
お茶。
お茶。お茶。お茶。お茶。Tomodachi. Tomodachi. Hopefully everyone can see the mouse. Tomodachi. Have I got more? Have I got more in my... I do have more. Okay, I do have... Yeah. It's a little while since I've rewritten the alphabet kanji down, so I'm looking at symbols. I don't encounter this one very often. Is it correct? Yes, it is. Let's go to slide 11.
遊びます。遊びます。
Asobinas.
遊びます。び、
Bi.
病院。
Byoin.
病院。病。
Byo.
Byo.
Nice. So let's do that first one again.
遊びます。
Asobimas.
遊びます。
Asobimas. See, this is one. See these two symbols at the end here that are after the bolded bit. So that is ma and su. So mas here, you'll see these two occur quite a lot because you'll always see imas. So if you can see these two here, and they have this one in the bottom, second from the end, before it, imas. That's imas there, together. And the same with the bottom one. Byoin is quite easy to see. You got bio uin. In is at the end. See the these two lines, vertical lines here, roughly vertical lines, and then the squiggly H. That's I and N. So I, N, together. They also appear quite often together. Consider them the vowels. The same as mass. These two here, that's like looking at the in English. The and is, because they appear everywhere. So just a point of reference that these two kanji, or these two hiragana here, and these two hiragana here, seem to appear to me, in my opinion, the most in the Japanese language. So it's quite easy to identify these two and these two when they appear quite often. So there are already 4 sounds to kanji that you can utilize to aid memory and remember at least those kanji to get an essence of where you're at when it comes to trying to translate certain words and where their positions are. So it's just worth pointing out these 4 kanji, these 2 at the end here at the top and these 2 at the end here on the bottom, often occur quite often. Let's go to slide 8. Let's go do some repetition.
遊びます。
Asobimasu. Bi.
病院。
Byoin.
病。
Byo. Bi.
病。
Byo.
病。
Bi.
病。
And byo. Lovely stuff.
病。
Let's go to slide 9.
よ。
Yo.
び。
Bi.
病。
Byo.
や。
So we've just done yo. And yeah.
ち。
Chi and cha.
ちゃ。
There we go. So we got first one.
ち。
Chi. These are the slides as well that I extrapolate quite a fair bit from when it comes to kanji alphabet. Hiragana alphabet, I should say.
ち。
So we've got chi,
ちゃ。
cha,
び。
bi,
よ。
yo, yo, sorry. Just yo, yo.
病。
Bio, BYO.
や、
Ya. YA. So we have
ち、
chi, CHI,
ちゃ、
cha, CHA,
び、
bi, bet, which is, if I look on my sheet for bit, I'm sure I have this one. And if I don't, I might actually have to add it. I've got bio, ba, bio, and be. Oh, maybe I don't. I might have to take this one.
び、
B,
び、
B, B.
び、び、
Yeah, I'm gonna have to actually take that one because for some reason I don't have it on this sheet. So where's my B's? Yeah, bio. So B, this one here,
び、
B. So the U without these two little eyelets, these two little eyelets here off the right hand side. I'm sorry, the right hand side of the U. If you remove them, you get he, which is HI. So this would be BI as in B. So let me just get my U shape right in the kanji. So I like to bold this out so I can see them. And then we put that here. Let me do just that. And that equals B, BI. And I will show the camera. There we go. And you can see how I've got he, bio, and now B. So this one here. Just to note and make sure that everyone's got the right spelling for what it would come out as when you're pronouncing it. Then we've got
よ、
yo, yo,
びょ、
bio, which you've just seen as byo,
や、
ya, ya. Let's go to slide 10. What have we got in slide 10?
さようなら、
Sayonara.
さようなら、
おやすみなさい。
Oyasumisai.
おやすみなさい。
病院、
Byoin.
病院、友達、
Tomodachi.
友達、お茶、
Ocha.
お茶、遊びます。
Sobimas. Oh. I didn't mean to click there. I meant to click there. That's
遊
going to
びます。
give me a wrong answer there. Yeah, 5 out of 1. Lovely jubbly. You
さようなら、
don't click in the wrong places if you've got this program. Sayonara. Yeah.
さようなら、
おやすみなさい。
Oyasuminasai.
おやすみなさい。
病院、
Bio. In. That's a U there.
Bio
And then right
in.
in the middle.
友達、
Tomodachi.
友達、お茶、
Oja.
お茶、遊びます。
Asobimas.
遊びま
There we
す
go. Result. Now that's worth doing. So sayonara.
おやすみなさい。
Oyasaminasai. Because don't forget, this one here is an I. Then we got
病院、
in, but the U becomes way soft. It's like when we have I or E, except after C and all that stuff in English, where one or the other can go in either location and confuse people because one becomes essentially silent. But if you actually extrapolate how the syllables work in us saying it and say it elongated and slowly, received, you get the same inflection up and down, or as the Japanese call them for Western speakers, it's the pitch accent. It's chopsticks for one direction, and I can't remember what the name is for the other direction at the moment. I'll have to relearn that from that Utah. But it's the same. It's the same dynamic. It's the same mechanic. There are certain words or certain sounds in Japanese that either elongate something or make it subtly silent, as it were. And like we have this one here.
おやすみなさい。
Oyasumi nasai. So when you're saying sai, we have sai. Now sa is its own symbol, its own letter, its own kanji, and so is I. So whenever we're saying like things like sensei or yasumi nasai and so on, we are saying it so fast that you don't hear the sa I or the sa I and the I being pronounced separate. It sort of bleeds into the end of the word. So the I doesn't get said so much, the same as the U in the middle of a sentence doesn't get said so much because it's a continuation, but it still gets represented by its character to show that the inflection and the pitch of that word goes up or down. Um, it's the same as how if you ask a question and you've put a question mark at the end, depending on whether you inflect upwards or downwards, depends on the context of the question that you're asking in the language. Which is why sometimes people can ask a question and be offended, and other people can be more forthcoming with an answer. Because one inflection might denote sarcasm, and another one might denote a genuine wanting to know and response. So it's just something to keep in mind. Let's go slide 11, last one.
おやすみなさい。
Or yeah, of course I'd get it wrong straight off. It's not, it's the top one, isn't it?
おやすみなさい。
Or yeah, sa mi na sai. There you go.
おやすみなさい。病院。
I do so well. Oh, and bio e. It's not going
病
to
院。
count though because I got one wrong on this one. Damn it.
おやすみなさい。
O ya sa mi na sa. I've done it again. It's see what I mean. I need to practice reading these kanji, and I'm trying to do this
お
one
や
without
す
my
みな
sheet.
さい。
Let's go. O ya sa mi na. There we go.
おやす
I
み
got
な
there in the
さい。
end.
病院。
But you can see when doing this exercise, if you can extrapolate some characters, you can then figure out what the other ones are. So long as you're listening to the sounds that are being made through that word, where you might already know a few of them, because then that only leaves you with a certain set of syllables that could potentially be left that actually could relate to the kanji itself. So, or it is very, this is where you can see the elementary primary school sort of level interpretation that's going on here in this teaching, where you're like you are in school, or ya na ma si, etc. Which is actually quite an easy technique to utilize to then learn each individual kanji, which is why when I come to this, I'm doing the same thing to sort of program them into my brain, as it were. Which is how I'm remembering most of them and then forgetting the odd one or two, because some of them are so very structurally different. So similar, sorry, as you saw here, the difference is the direction. Is it facing forwards or is it facing backwards? Essentially, they are different kanji. There's a different angle of sweep in them. The starting point might be different, etc. But to a Western English casual learner, I'm not versed in why they are different, or how each character's come about, like we would learn in our own English at that age. However, I can determine the difference between the sound and the which way round is it, what which orientation is. It's learning which one's which in that orientation without having to reference my sheet too much, because that's the sign of progress and learning, that the memory is sticking and the recall is sticking. But as you can see, it's some of them are easier than others because they are very distinct, and others are a little bit more tricky because they're very similar. So it's just something to be aware of. However, all it does is highlight which ones you may need to brush up on, and clearly the ones that are very structurally similar and just a different direction are the ones that I need to brush up on. So it's not so bad. Anyway, 病院,
病院、
病, um, 病院, 病院.
病院、
There we go. That'll give us 100%, right? Yes. 46 out of 46. With a couple of repeats in there, just because I made two very dumb mistakes. And then on this one, yeah, I made two very dumb mistakes with the same character. But it just goes to show that, you know, I'm still learning. This is a casual process. I'm just documenting my casual progress and hoping people enjoy what they see and are getting some insights into the process of learning Japanese as a language, whereby it's not that difficult if you can find the patterns, pay attention to what the program's trying to teach you and get you to associate with, and then doing a little bit of work yourself, a little bit of research. You know, I have enough interest to want to learn this language, so I'm taking it all in. I'm opening up like a sponge, and then I'm noticing the patterns that are happening, and then I'm extrapolating from those patterns the things that I'm finding the most approachable and attractive because they're the easiest to learn. Learning the easy stuff first is the easy bit because that's the stuff that gets retained. It's the more complicated things I know I need to work on, as I've just showcased and exampled. Like, I know most of these. So here we are. Let's have a slow run through some kanji here. You can see where I've made a mistake, even when I've been rewriting this into a neater format from my old sheet. I've gotten better at not just writing the kanji, that on this page might look a little bit blurry and non-distinct. But trust me, they are quite clear to me when I'm reading them, and they do translate to what's coming out in that program. So I always highly recommend that people do this, purely as an aid to memory, but also it's a good way of practicing not just your memory functioning and remembering this sheet or this alphabet. It can help aid your pronunciation, particularly when, like, at the top I've got like little notes as to how it gets pronounced in brackets. Yeah, and the same down here. Some of them are obvious, some of them aren't. For example, look at this one here. There's the H. There's the squiggly H. That's w, or n, depending on the context and how it's used. So there's two things you can take away from doing a sheet like this. Also, it helps with you starting to write kanji or hiragana, the symbols of Japanese, which is always it's like a muscle memory thing. That if you learn to write the shape, you generally tend to then associate writing that shape with what the sounds are, and as a result, when you see them, your brain's not just remembering straight up what you've taught it, but you're also then thinking, oh, how did I write that symbol? Because you can see and remember how you wrote it. Which then is also another form of memory recall that your brain can rely on to then remember that, oh, I need to say this thing that way. It's these things. So just a couple of notes there to remember. Right, that's our reading module done. The next module that I'll be uploading and going through is obviously the writing module. That will come next time. As always, like, follow, share, and subscribe on my channels, twitch.tv/xofficina and youtube.com/xofficina. Those who have been around and watching these videos for a while will know that a couple of days ago from the date of this video, over the weekend, I consolidated my branding to just be xofficina rather than like my gamer tag on Twitch and xofficina on YouTube, just to make things simple. I'm now fully under the same name across the board, so you can find me just by typing in the one thing. I'm hoping to get a couple of bits of graphics on the screen, probably along the top of this border, maybe now we go down this border, or even along the taskbar, and get the information up so it's permanent, so people can see it, add me, follow me, etc. But I need to design and produce those yet before sticking them on the stream. So hopefully I can drive some more traffic and get a few more views, because I really do want to hit that affiliate status on Twitch so I can get the tools that I need to produce better content. Same for YouTube, but YouTube's a little bit of a while off. So if you can like, follow, share, and subscribe, everything's free. I'm doing this just out of the love of what I want to do and to document my own casual process to show that you too can grind out learning a language like Japanese, that for an English speaker is supposed to be one of the hardest or harder languages on the planet to learn by oneself without a teacher. It can be done. It's just paying attention, noticing those patterns, and latching onto something you find easy about learning that language, so that you yourself can teach yourself it because you're finding those things easy, and you are confident that you can remember those things and regurgitate those things in the right manner and context. And so long as you've got a good work method and a good work ethic, then you know anything's possible, right? You can do anything you set your mind to. I have mental health issues, and yet I'm still able to teach myself uh, a language like this. I'm challenging myself here. Um, and there are some negative aspects to that. Um, there are a couple of positives. You know, my OCD helps with the aid to memory and the efficiency. And yes, I do have to do things in a certain order. That's why you're seeing me make mistakes and not move on to the next slide until I've 100%ed that slide. I think that's a good way of working because it's forcing me to make mistakes and then rectify them, which is putting me through that process of I'm practicing whilst trying to get it right, and I'm not moving on until I've got it right. Which then means that later on, as anyone who watches any of these videos in the order of the playlist on YouTube will see that those mistakes have very rapidly decreased. I'm making a lot less mistakes than I did in, say, the first module or the second module. Or you could pinpoint where I made the most mistakes, I think in module 2, when things got a little bit more complicated. And you know, that was probably where the most entertainment value is, because you're watching me swear my head off and such. But yes, that's it shows that you can get over those humps. You can grind out casually on your own terms, learning pretty much anything. I think language is an easier thing to learn because we all rely on it. Communication is, you know, that understanding to each other. We can always emote and communicate with each other, because that's what our species are designed to do. So even though there is a language barrier, it's not always that distinct of a barrier, if that makes sense. So learning a language is one of the easiest tasks that a human can do, but to teach yourself it with no outside help besides a program like this, I'd say to any detractors, well, it can be done. It just depends on your method, and it depends on how intent you are on learning that language. So I'm here to help facilitate this with these videos, and I hope that if you've got any friends that might want to learn Japanese or have an interest in the culture or want something a little bit different in their day to watch when it comes to content, please get them to like, follow, share, and subscribe my channel. Send them this video, send them the playlist, just my channels, whatever. I would really appreciate anyone checking me out. As always, anything that you want to say, get in the comments below on any relevant video, whether it's this one or ones before. It'd be nice to try and keep those comments to topic related for each of the videos, but if not, and it's just a place that you want to comment, by all means get on there. Constructive feedback, criticism, advice, tips, tricks, anything, just get at me on there. If not, you can join my Discord. The links are provided on both my pages, so if you find one, you'll find the other, and you'll get the invite link to my Discord. Everything is free, it costs nothing, so if you just want to chat, if you want to play games, make any suggestions, Discord's the place to go. That's all for today's lesson. As you can see, we'll be doing writing next, and I'm going to leave it there for today. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Much love and respect for those who have sat and watched this live. Much love and respect to those who catch us later on YouTube, and we'll leave it there. So as always, take care, stay safe, keep sane, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.